What's the matter, Hangman? Can't sleep?
Cowboy shit!
I need my
Older brother!
Who the fuck is Rip Garrison?
God damn it! Baby, back real!
You are now listening to Dark Side of the Elite with Randy Charpentier, Eric Reed, and Matt Roberts.
This week we're doing BT as usual. That's what the show's all about. And coming off an emotional episode last week, emotional Dynamite, everything with Brody Lee. This week episode's called Tribute, and it's BT 237. The show starts off with Matt Jackson taking a selfie video discussing how he's headed to the most difficult show he's ever had to have been a part of. And the best way he knows to pay tribute to Brody is wrestling, because wrestling's all he knows. And it kind of sets the scene for his travels over to Dynamite last Wednesday. And that leads us into a bit of a musical video clip montage tribute, where we have scenes backstage at Dynamite where we see the guys. We see Dustin Rhodes and Jake Hager embracing in a hug. Team Taz, we got Taz, Ricky Starks, and Will Hobbs, and Taz is pointing to the Brody Lee armbands, saying he's the fucking man. We see Bryce Remsburg and Rick Knox and Justin Roberts embracing. Everyone's in tears, hugging backstage, and just some real candid clips of all the crew and all the guys before Dynamite last week. A funny clip, we got Miro taking kendo stick shots from -1. Yeah. -1 gives him one. He says, "Oh, come on, you can do better than that," and then really just hammers him with the second one.
Yeah, bend over.
Bend over. He's like, "Oh, okay." So that was cute. And we get, I guess, I'm assuming it's Brendan Cutler with the BTE cam, kind of takes us through the crowd of all the wrestlers and the roster as they gathered on stage to start Dynamite last week. You had everybody out there, and we got kind of a first-person look, just kind of mingling through everyone. You can see the emotion on everyone's face.
Especially
that.
I forgot his name. It just drew a blank. The referee one.
Bryce Remsburg.
Yeah, Bryce, yeah. I felt real bad. He had a hard time the whole show, I guess, right?
Yes. You could see, even in his interview they did on the show, he was just in tears. And even when they kind of passed by him on the stage there, you can see his face is just beet red, trying to hold it back. And at this point, they even play that clip from Dynamite where he says, if there was a Mount Rushmore of wrestling dads, Brody would be on it. That really stood out on Dynamite too, and I guess they felt the same too, to include it in BTE here.
That's right.
And the music's playing underneath, and we were getting clips of Colt Cabana making his entrance with the Dark Order guys. We see Colt Cabana's hot tag from the match against Matt Hardy in Private Party, where he does the great springboard moonsault off the ropes into the finish of the match with the Chicago skyline into the Indy Taker. The emotion of that, and we see Lance Archer in his Brody Lear getup. He makes his entrance with the Dark Order boys, and they show the picture-in-picture of the opening spot of that match where Evil Uno kicks. Who was it, Eddie Kingston, right in the face while the ref's checking him?
Yeah, like the Shakira match that we were talking about before.
Right. Eric made a note of that last week too, how that's a Brody Lee Easter egg spot, and they showed Brody Lee doing it. They showed the clip of Brody Lee doing it in sync with Evil Uno doing it.
Right. That was amazing,
Right. So they're pointing out a lot of those little Easter eggs and stuff that we were making note of on the Dynamite review. And the most epic part of this entire episode, the most emotional, is Eddie Kingston's speech backstage to most of the roster. And it was really, really powerful, the way he was able to convey the feelings and be a leader. And it really hit hard with me how he said it's important to tell each other you love each other, and that his old man took 55 fucking years to say he loved me. And that Eddie Kingston loves everyone there. And, don't be afraid to say it. And they're going to take a negative of the situation and turn it into a positive. And that tonight showed how strong that they all are. And it's the greatest tribute show he's ever seen or been a part of. And Eddie Kingston just man, like what a guy this is. Like every single time he talks, it's just he's got something that's real special to me. Yeah.
He took charge of the locker room. As you looked around, everybody was listening. The most emotional guy that was there, if you've seen, was 10 in the background because he was still weeping. Through all this
mask off.
Yeah, mask off. Through all this situation, like Kingston's speech was incredible. Like it was incredible. It just topped everything off from what everything was done. 10, like I'm learning a lot about 10 in the last couple of weeks too. The dude is an all-around, one, good wrestler. Two, he has that, if anybody's going to be Brody Lee, supposedly he's the next Brody Lee. I'm not saying leading the Dark Order. As a person, him and Brody Lee Jr., they're pretty good friends, and that's one of the reasons why I picked it. But it's supposedly around the locker room, he's exactly the same. So I'm going to look out for him this year. He seems like a good dude, but nothing can compare to that speech that Eddie Kingston did. He does it all the time, and it's good. He's in charge of the locker room, one of the veterans, I guess you can say, trying to motivate the others up, and it seemed to work. It was a great little tribute.
For 10, like maybe this applies to 5 as well, but I want to see these guys lose the mask. Maybe that's a little sacrilegious to say with Dark Order or whatever, but like Silver and Reynolds got rid of their masks a while ago, and I've seen Preston Vance's videos and stuff, and this guy, he's a good-looking guy. He's in amazing shape. He's absolutely jacked, and I think there's his personality, and if he is to become a more prominent character, I could see him lose the mask and really present him maybe in a way that's not so much as a creeper. You know, like how they had the creepers and they were just nameless, faceless jobbers. They got a number and a mask and you don't know who they are. For me...
Well, that's why he got the coat, right? Remember Brody gave him the coat and everything else. I like guys in masks. I think guys in masks are amazing. I'm joking.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like mask gimmicks don't work or nothing like that. But I'm saying like if your point is to like really push him more, like they don't have to at all. But I could just see like, I don't know, if you were to kind of push him more, like I could see that helping, or I'm just throwing that idea out there. Because like, why did Silver and Reynolds get to lose their mask? It's the really like, because they have big personalities and like having a mask covering that kind of takes it away a little bit. But I don't know, it's just a thought.
A mask can hide expression, right? Maybe 10's in the process of learning. Like, nobody can match John Silver in expressions, right? Nobody. Not in this company right now. Maybe that's the reason. But anyways, any way of it, I'm still behind him and 5, 100%. They've been, like, from now on, hearing everything about him, so.
Do you think Dark Order gets a new leader? Like, I'm wondering, like, now, like, it's hard to kind of bring this conversation up. It's still really fresh, everything that's happened, but it's like, where do Dark Order go from here now? Because there's no one in that stable that screams top of the card right now. You might be able to put someone in that group, but like, who would it be? Do they bring someone else in? Because you can't just bring someone in and replace Brody Lee.
After, I wouldn't say right away. Uno's doing a fine job at his job. But at the end of this little montage thing, I don't even know if... Yeah, we're almost there anyways, I guess I can say it.
Yeah.
All the Dark Order's sitting in the lair, and then Hangman comes in and sits down with them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I could see that eventually. We'll get to it at the end of the video. I saw an Easter egg at the end of the video. I don't know if you guys caught it, or the BT this week. But we'll get to the end. I think eventually maybe Hangman starts joining them and may be the leader. I would like Uno to be the leader, though. What about you, Eric?
I could see Hangman being like an interim leader.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like he joins now for a short amount of time, because eventually Hangman kind of has to like walk tall on his own. He can't he has to be the champion. I would say, right?
True.
Yeah, I don't personally see Hangman as like an official Dark Order leader. Like, he's still Hangman Page. Like, I personally don't see it as like a permanent thing. He's affiliated with them now because of the way the story was going and everything. But in terms of being like a new Brody Lee, where he's their de facto #1 leader of the faction and everything, I don't personally see it going that way. We could be wrong.
Right. But together they have to get strong as one, more over as one, right? And then maybe somebody out of this group will be that.
Because there's three great tag teams in the Dark Order, but not really a single standout, right? You have Uno and Grayson, you have Five and Dime, and you got Silver and Reynolds. Well, I guess Cole Cabana is kind of an extra part to this group, to be honest. But
maybe Uno. Well, I can't wait to see though. Whatever it may be, I can't wait to see.
For sure, it's really early to say right now, but I just thought I'd bring it up.
Yeah.
The music video the music cuts out, and it's like you said, you have the whole Dark Order in the Dark Order lair sitting in total silence. Hangman asks if he can come sit with them, and they're just kind of sitting there sad and somber and taking in a moment together. Before we move on to the next scene in BTE this week, and we have Private Party just kind of talking together, and we have Allie the Bunny looking for Brendan Cutler. What exactly was she looking for Brendan for?
I have no clue.
I still have
Another
no idea what that even meant.
Another relationship?
Yeah. Well, they don't know. Yeah, they don't know where he is. Sorry, Eric, what's that?
Is she gonna make him look like a schmuck like she did QT Marshall, or what? What do you think?
Looking for credit cards.
Private Party would be good people to go to because they're still dealing with Matt Hardy shit, so maybe they are kind of gullible.
Yeah.
But Allie the Bunny, she moves on, and then we get Matt Hardy joining his guys, Private Party, and he asks them if they're buzzing because they're having a drink. What are you buzzing on? But he says, I hope you're buzzing about our win last 2 weeks ago, but he blames them for losing on Dynamite. And but he wants to focus on the previous week's win. And he mentions that the Private Party's grandma loves him. I guess Matt Hardy got to meet their grandma. He says, your grandma loves me. And he also kind of says, you know what, guys? When me and Jeff were starting out, the Hardy Boys, they paid some jobber a 66% booking fee for all their matches. And he wants to know if you two desire to be kings. And if you do, that maybe Matt Hardy should be entitled to a little cut from Private Party's paycheck. But, you know, he's a nice... Right? The truth is the truth. But he'll do it for 30%.
What a deal.
Right? And Mark Quinn... says, you know what, like 15% each, that's not too bad. And Matt Hardy says, no, I was thinking more 30% each. So being a total dick, trying to rip them off, and Private Party says, hey man, you know what, I thought we were boys, like why would you try to do this to us? And they went to visit Matt Hardy in his home. They feel like part of the family. Matt Hardy says, you guys were welcome in my home, but you know what, this is show business, it's not friend business. And can you put a price on being the second greatest tag team in history, behind the Hardy Boys, of course?
30%.
But so he's iconic Matt Hardy, still kind of trying to dig at Private Party here, take advantage of them, and for whatever reason, Private Party is still holding out hope that maybe their buddy Matt Hardy here isn't a total douchebag and is looking out for their best interests. But this is the slow burn still continuing on here that I obviously feel leads to an eventual breakup. Either that or Private Party say, you know what, we're on board with this, and they turn heel too. It doesn't seem to be going that way.
I don't know. I have no clue. I'm
this
a
has
little
been
disinterested.
I do love the fact though that the funniest part of that entire sketch, I guess you'd say, was when he starts hyping them up. You guys want to be kings? I'm a kingmaker. doing that, and there you see Mark Quinn freaking out. I want to be kings. You know what? 30%, 40%, whatever you want.
That
Isaiah's like, oh
was
no. Let's relax. Let's relax.
That was pretty funny. Look at my whole paycheck.
I guess for some reason, like they think Matt Hardy's actually going to be the guy to help them get to that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess his track record is pretty good for himself. But this isn't doing much for any of us, I don't think, right now. This whole relationship between them all, right?
Yeah,
It's been weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of bits of Matt Hardy and Private Party and the building up of this character, and it's kind of run its course already for me, I guess. But we'll see where it goes, I guess, if when the turn happens, when they finally break it off, or if it's the opposite, like Will Hobbs joining Team Taz instead of fighting them. Maybe Private Party joins Matt Hardy and they do stay locked in as a trio, because I guess these 6-man titles that we talked about maybe a month ago, I think they're still on their way, and maybe like this would still be a good trio to keep together.
To be fair, they are looking like, if they do stay together, they could be number one contenders for that belt anyways. Like, I mean, I could definitely see them winning the titles if they do ever come out.
And maybe every week it's still Private Party just putting up with Matt Hardy's bullshit, but that underlying tension between them all is still there, and they keep thinking that, you know what, Matt's still looking out for us or whatever, and maybe it breaks up down the road. Maybe it's not as soon as it feels like. It feels like it should have been broken apart already.
Yeah.
But we'll see where that goes, I guess. Any other thoughts on this before we move on?
Nope, none at all. I don't know, none at all.
Okay.
Again, I'm a little disinterested.
Next, we have... Yeah, fair enough. We have Joey Janela on BT this week playing chess against Trent. And Trent checkmates him pretty easily. It's only looked like maybe 2 or 3 moves had been made,
like
and
one move
Joey
made.
Janela's already checkmate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joey Janela just, fuck. He's like, but, and he reminds, or he lets Trent know that you haven't beat the Grand Master yet.
Who's that?
And we get the Chris Statlander, Orange Cassidy, cool little dance music going, and Grandmaster Luchasaurus, wearing a orange wig, comes in to play Trent at chess.
Fantastic.
And Luchasaurus just destroys him, and Trent is sweating buckets profusely throughout the entire time, just dripping sweat, stressed out. And we get Joey Janela making stupid faces to the camera. And yeah,
That was weird.
so
I don't get it.
Weird.
this to me just screamed, try to come up with a filler segment that is kind of funny, kind of clever, but it was not really much of anything. Puts over Luchasaurus as a genius. Joey Janela looks like a goof, and Trent's just still Trent. Trent's always a badass.
Here's
Well, I
number
think the
one
main
rule
thing too is that with
Go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, sorry, I can barely hear you, man. Your mic keeps like cutting out like crazy. Your video quality's going down. I can't.
Everything looks good
Yeah.
on this side.
Oh, even for me, it's all messed
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No worries. That's why when I started talking, I couldn't even hear you, and then it was
Okay.
like just cuts in. I'm like, oh shit, my bad.
Well, go ahead.
I already forgot what point I was making. You can go ahead.
About Trent and Luchasaurus playing chess.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like, I think the whole thing kind of screams the fact that they probably had stuff recorded ahead of time, but with the whole passing of Brody Lee, all the Dark Order bits probably got cut.
Yeah.
So this was probably all the stuff they had around it. You know
because
what I mean?
aside from the footage from Dynamite and the great Eddie Kingston speech, everything that kind of followed this definitely seemed kind of rushed and put together just to have an episode this week.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, most of it did not hit for me this week. Like the chess segment, it's not really, it was nothing to it. It wasn't that funny. It builds Luchasaurus, I guess, a little bit as his genius character. But other than that, that was it, right?
Yeah.
Moving on from there, we have Ortiz with Dasha and Diamante, and they are looking for Alex Abrahantes. And Alex is inside in one of those nice little living room suites they have there, and he's pretending to play piano, singing about Dark Order, which he claims is actually no, Law and Order. I love that show.
Dun-dun-dun.
And they're grilling Alex. Is like, no, we heard you singing about Dark Order. And Alex is kind of scrambling to get out of this situation. He points behind them. He's like, hey, is that Ricky Martin? They're like, Ricky Martin, where? So they turn around and looking for Ricky Martin out the window, and he grabs his purple Kool-Aid and takes off out the other door of the other side of the room. And so Alex Abrahantes is still tempted by the Dark Order, and his friends aren't too happy about it. So this is a few weeks in a row now, too, where he's going to the dark side, I guess you could say.
Nope. Randy?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, it's going
Okay,
on.
sorry. No. It looked like your video froze. That's why I was like, oh.
Oh, no, I just
just leaving it open for you guys to, any thoughts you guys on this? Because that was pretty much it, right?
He's drinking the Kool-Aid.
Maybe Alex Abrahantes is going to be the new leader of Dark Order.
Oh, I hope not.
God.
Like, where does this go? Like, they've been doing this like this is the third segment, I think, right? They tried to have the intervention with him, and now he's playing piano, singing songs about Dark Order, still drinking the Kool-Aid, pretending like he's not into the Dark Order stuff. But we've seen zero interaction between Alex and the Dark Order, or any of these guys at all. And it's just like, what's the end game for this bit?
Yeah.
Like, does he just like finally come out the other side where he's like, oh, what was I thinking? And he doesn't join them? Or like, because what is Alex Abrahantes anyway? Like, what does he do there?
Backstage announcer.
Backstage announcer, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what? I don't know.
Maybe he'll be the backstage announcer for the Dark Order. In the lair.
Sure. Sure, I guess so, right? But it's like, it's not even like anyone from the Dark Order's trying to recruit him either.
He's recruiting himself, yeah.
Right?
Self-promo.
I don't know. Again, like, not this isn't a great storyline in my opinion either. Moving on to something even worse. We have Kip Sabian confronting Leva Bates about the game they played was a week or two ago, and wants to make sure Leva did not let him win. And he wants her to let the whole world know, you did not let me win, and I beat you fair and square at whatever game they were playing, we don't even know. And Leva's like, yes, you beat me fair and square. It's like, can you tweet it out? Can you text? Can you call everyone? And she's like, the camera's right here. They're going to see it. Okay, you beat me fair and square. We all know that he didn't. And this is still stupid.
You know, he said the same thing, and I have it here, for 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
That was this episode?
Yes, 2 minutes and 20 seconds of him saying the same thing. You didn't
I
beat me,
beat you, right?
You
Yeah,
didn't let me,
beat
right?
me.
You didn't let me, right?
Leva, can you tweet it? Leva?
Yeah.
Like, am I wrong? Or, like, is there, like, a group of people that thinks this is great? That, like, there's Twitch streamers or gamers or people that follow them that think this is just hilarious or something? Am I just too old and I don't get it?
Well, I found out something this weekend. Leva just started her, I guess, partnership with Twitch and playing with them this past weekend. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. Maybe you're right, because Kip sometimes plays with them. But maybe you're right. Maybe they think it's funny. I have no clue.
This is just a promo to watch them on Twitch, and just all it does is, like, I guess Kip Sabian's being a heel by acting like this, but I don't know.
It doesn't win with me.
No.
No.
I'm
not
wondering,
going to
I'm
let
wondering
him
if
win.
it's just. I'm wondering if it's just a Twitter thing, like if it's just blowing up on Twitter, and I'm
Yeah.
just
I don't-
not seeing it.
I don't think so. I don't
But
think so.
I don't follow I don't follow Sabian, I don't follow Leva, so you
I
never
do.
know, right?
I do, and
Oh, dear.
Yeah, and like everything that AEW fans, for the most part, are when they bring up Kip Sabian, it's a lot of what we're saying. I think most of the comments I read online or on Twitter is kind of echoing the same sentiments we have. Like, this is stupid. And it's just been going on forever. Like, oh my God. But,
So they're pretty much like Matt Hardy's on like pretty much the same trajectory anyway. So
I think Matt Hardy's stuff, I would take it 10 times out of 10 over this. Not even close. Matt Hardy way better than this.
So let's bring it to the next segment then, because we're talking about it for 4 minutes.
Just last thing I'll say is, if the point of this is to make me hate Kip Sabian like you would hate a heel back in the day, where it's like you don't like, people love cool heels. Like when this guy hits the ring against anyone I like, and if I was in the crowd, I'd be booing the shit out of him. So if that's like he's doing his job. If that's the case, I will say that. Moving on from here, we have Vicki Guerrero in the makeup chair, waiting to get her hair and makeup done, and she's getting a little impatient, waiting for whoever's supposed to be doing this for her. And she says, "Screw this, I'm out of here." And she's wrestling to get the barber's little cape cover that you get when you go get your hair cut. She's wrestling to get it off over her head. And Brian Pillman Jr. coming in to get his lovely locks done as well. And he takes a look at Vicki Guerrero and says, "Oh, sorry to bother you, sister." She's looking like a nun with this cape up over her head, covering her hair. And we get a little graphic that says 20 minutes later. And we get Vicki Guerrero going to see Nyla Rose in the dressing room, and that she's got an idea for them. And we hit this epic slow-mo music, and they're walking backstage dressed like Catholic nuns.
I got their tag team name. The Nunsters.
The Nunsters?
Instead of the Munsters, they look like the Nunsters.
Oh my goodness.
You know who the Munsters are?
Oh yeah, the Munsters? Yeah. I guess so.
I guess
The
it don't work.
Munsters.
I guess it don't work.
No, it kind of works. But I just don't want to be disrespectful to Vicki Guerrero. That's actually my own thing. No,
She went with it.
Well, honestly, like my reaction is mostly because I don't know what to think about this at all. Because it has a little graphic at the end, "to be continued." So is Vicki Guerrero, Nyla Rose, we are now pretending to be Catholic nuns, and that's going to be our gimmick?
The Nunsters.
The Nunsters. Right. That's the Addams family.
That's the Addams family.
Well, that is the Addams family. All right. Oh, well, Nunsters still work.
That's worse than me singing the Flintstones instead of Frosty the Snowman.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Right.
No, it's not.
Right.
Or worse than me thinking that Cody can't challenge for the TNG championship. So don't worry.
Epic. But I don't know. You don't really see religious gimmicks in wrestling. So I don't know if this goes to Dynamite or TV or where it's going. But it says "to be continued," and I guess we'll leave it at that. They did look pretty badass walking around, like they had a whole gear and everything set up, like with the cross and everything right on the front. So we'll see where this goes.
Yep.
Moving on, we have the BTE Championship match. And it is John Silver, our boy, against Marco Stunt. And it is 4:40 a.m., they let us know. And if you notice, this footage was filmed right after the Before Christmas BTE episode, because you still see Sammy G in his elf suit.
Yep.
John Silver with his John C. Reilly shirt on still. So they filmed this right after Marco Stunt won his #1 contender match in the Game of High Low card. And this week it's spin kick the bottle cap off. And you got a water bottle with the cap on. We've all seen the videos online, I'm sure, of people doing the spin kicks to try to knock it off. And our #1 boy, John Silver, one shot. Chuck Norris spin kicks the shit out of that bottle and knocks the cap right off. No problem. Marco Stunt gets his shot and just kicks the bottle. Cap doesn't come off. Just like that. Bada bing, bada boom. John Silver, realest guy in the room.
Kick boy.
Kick boy. He puts the title on the table too and tells the title, be good, be good. You sit there, be good. But yeah, fucking A. Johnny nails it first try, one and done. Real quick game. He's a handsome boy. He's a spinning kick boy. He's a skittle boy. He's all of those things. So John Silver keeps his title, no problem. Not much to this one. Real easy victory.
I am enjoying these little the championship defense, like, you know what I mean? Like even this one was still pretty good for being just a short little quick little bit, but
honestly, I thought. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't know if they're letting like Silver just run with it on this one, but he's whatever it is, it's working. I can tell you that right now.
He's winning. He's just winning every time, right?
Well, it's kind of disappointing.
This one.
I was kind of disappointed on this one because this skit only lasted like 2 minutes less than the Kip Sabian skit.
Right? Yeah. This one definitely had the potential to be like 17 kicks each and no one could actually get it, right? You just see like so many outtakes of kicks, like destroying the water bottle and having to get new ones even or something. But Johnny just nails it. It was actually impressive as hell. Because I don't think, like, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Especially not at 20 to 5 in the morning. I'd be passing out. That's
right. And Marco had a good kick, too. It just didn't connect for him, and that's it.
They should have been watching more Cobra Kai. Go watch
Cobra Kai, yeah. And even Sammy G complains that the cap's on too tight. I can't even get it off, and like puts the water bottle by John. And he just looking at the camera, just takes it right off, no problem. But yeah, that's the BTE title this week. John's still defending champion. And last thing on BTE this week. What the fuck? Mikey Ruckus video with Matt Hardy, directed by Rebby. Is it Rebby Hardy?
Rebby, yeah.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Right. She directed and produced this music video. Matt Hardy discovered Mikey Ruckus, and we get this song Ghost Town. And how this made it to BTE or why, I don't know, but this is awful, and I don't have anything else to say. I hated the song, and I don't know why we're getting some dude I've never heard of before plugging his music with some Matt Hardy and his wife's. Now they're music producers or something. I don't know.
I personally didn't like it, to be honest with you. But it's maybe not my taste. I'm an older gentleman, so maybe it's not my taste of music.
Well, it's kind of trying to be like that, like it's like a mix between like sort of like the newer sort of metal, but mixed with like hard rock. So it's like it's just a weird mix. The only thing I did like is I actually didn't mind the video. The video itself was actually well done. I thought it was well shot. I thought it was, except for that weird human centipede part. I didn't really quite get that. There's like that.
That's where it sort of threw me for a loop.
Yeah, that wasn't that great. But I mean, other than that, I thought the video was very well done. It's just the song it wasn't a good song.
No.
I don't know.
I don't understand why like this is being inserted into BTE or like there must be some sort of financial thing where this guy's and Matt Hardy are fronting some money and
I think this Mikey
themselves
Ruckus
a spot.
I think this Mikey Ruckus guy does some of the songs for the wrestlers. That's what I'm hearing.
He does. He's AEW's music director,
right.
So like he does work for the company, but I think he's just like a freelance musician from what I'm gathering.
So maybe since he works for the company, they're saying, hey, Mikey, we'll use our BT platform to get your name and some of your solo stuff out there too. And here's 5 minutes at the end of BT to plug your stuff.
True.
And I guess like Matt Hardy stars in the video and his wife directed the video. So I guess it's just kind of a collab that the Young Bucks are letting Matt Hardy and an AEW employee kind of have a little moment in the sun here, but it is not what I'm looking for on BTE, but they can do whatever they want. It's their show, but I didn't like the song. The video, like Eric said, was shot well. Like, it looked very professional. but it wasn't for me either.
Um,
If I never have to hear it again, it'll be too soon.
The truth is the
that
truth.
sort of ended the episode. But did you guys notice before the animation what happened? It's like a half a second. So after
What
the
was it?
video and then before the animation. Do you guys see it?
Oh, the break it down. Where he's like, break it down. And it's a picture of Kenny doing the AJ Styles with AJ Styles slumped over in Japan.
Yeah, it was half a second. Like you barely seen the picture at all. I slowed it down, stopped it.
You just hear it slowly. You just break it down.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, to that point, they put that photo of when Kenny and the Bucks kicked AJ out of Bullet Club.
Right.
Is that what it was? They
Yep.
posted that picture on Twitter today. And Nick Jackson's actually wearing this shirt I'm wearing in that photo.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so the comments under that photo is, are we going to see Kenny and Young Bucks kind of reunite as maybe like a heel group? And now that we have Gallows and Anderson in the scene, because Kenny's going to be on Impact tonight with Gallows and Anderson ahead of their match. So maybe like that's definitely a Young Bucks tease. But it's interesting that it's them with kicking AJ Styles out of the group. But I guess that was kind of the height of the Young Bucks and Kenny as in a heel trio.
Right.
Is that what it's teasing here? That the Young Bucks and Kenny could maybe be doing a bit of a Bullet Club reunion with Gallows and Anderson and Impact?
Maybe.
Have the 5 of them?
Or, like, the only other thing I can see, if Kenny's aligning with Gallows and Anderson, like, who would be the person to go with Bucks? Like, trio all across the board. I have no clue on that aspect of it.
If they were against them?
Well, it only makes sense that Kenny would stay with the Bullet Club, right?
But the tease to me seemed to be that the Young Bucks were on board with it.
Yeah.
Unless it's I don't know what else to make of it, but it's a little cryptic, right? Just a photo of them kicking AJ out. And like the Bullet Club's still going strong in Japan, and they haven't been affiliated with Bullet Club in a long time. But until Kenny went back with Gallows and Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And New Japan owns the rights to the name Bullet Club and everything, so I don't even know if they can say it on TV in AEW or Impact.
Right.
Because WWE had to rebrand it The Club, right? Or Balor Club. So I don't know if like New Japan's given their blessing to do this. That might lead to maybe a bigger Bullet Club, a Bullet Club America versus Bullet Club Japan down the road.
Partnership?
Right?
Yeah.
A partnership. Right, because Jon Moxley is going to Japan to face Kenta for the U.S. title eventually here in the next little bit, because Kenta won the U.S. title challenge match at Wrestle Kingdom the other night.
Right. And he was supposed to be there.
And Jon Moxley did
by that vignette,
he
was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So our prediction sort of could have came true. They almost came close to canceling Wrestle Kingdom like a day before. Thank God they didn't, but...
Yeah, because Moxley appeared via video at Wrestle Kingdom Night 1, right? And promoted, like, they hyped up whoever wins the Kenta, oh God, I can't even remember who he wrestled against.
Oh, I forgot too.
But yeah, it was Taichi or something like that. But yeah, so Moxley appeared via video in Wrestle Kingdom. They're going to be doing that match. I would imagine Moxley loses the title just to get it off him and get it back into Japan, right?
Well, the other rumor I'm hearing right now is if he can't get back there, Kenta might just open up the briefcase one day and the title's in there. And he'll find out it's in there all along.
They wouldn't have done the Moxley video saying that they're going to have the match if that was going to be the ending.
But they may have to, just due to now where they are, whatever, I know the country, but I don't know the city. But they're in such a bad lockdown, or they're going to go into a bad lockdown again because of the spread, that they might not even be able to do another pay-per-view soon, or nobody allowed to come over. So you can't have the belt on Moxley forever, right? They want to see it on somebody else.
No, but if they weren't confident Moxley could come and do a match or something, I don't think they would have done that video.
True.
Because now you're promising something and then not delivering it. Like, that's never a good look in wrestling. I don't know.
Well, I guess that ends this week's episode. Do you have any special thank yous or anything, Eric?
If you're able to, give us a follow on Dark Side of the E at Twitter, at Dark Side of the Elite on Instagram. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, feel free to rate us 5 stars. If you're enjoying it, it does help us out a lot. And Matt, anybody else you want to thank?
Just want to thank all the listeners. We wouldn't be doing this show without you guys. We appreciate the feedback and love doing this show. Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, just like Matt says, thank you for everybody for listening. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's WeTheDarkOrderNorth 1, or WeTheDarkOrder1, sorry, on Twitter. Ourselves now, we have 2 YouTube channels up. We got The Dark Side of the Elite on YouTube. You should see the videos popping up soon. And We the Dark Order North. So go check them out as well. So everybody listening, thank you again. And I guess until next week, come on. Join.
Throw the paws up.